So just landed in Belgrade, and straight away, superficially at least, it reminds me of the olden Soviet Union countries, which kind of makes sense, seeing as though there were so many parallels between Yugoslavia and the Soviet Union. But instantly, if a city came to mind, it reminds me of Kiev, Ukraine. There's a lot of old school kind of Soviet communist flats and apartment buildings on the outskirts of the city as you're coming in. And once you're in the city, it is very Hungarian, Budapest kind of Paris mashup, Soviet Union mashup, a lot of different architectural styles, very beautiful buildings. But I don't know if you can see behind me over there, there's the old communist style apartment blocks, and a very beautiful city, a lot of green parks, a lot of trees. It's the heat waves come into Belgrade at the moment, and this week's scheduled to get to about mid-35s, mid-30 degrees Celsius. But one of the beauties of the city is no matter where you walk within the city itself, there's always a street that's, or part of the street that's shaded. So it makes walking around the city quite easy. The hostel I'm staying at is quite cool, really close to the transport centre or the Department of Transport. You can see a lot of old buses and trams, and even tram lines going into it. Basically just stationed here, which brings me to note catching some public transport in. Not the most reliable of things, or at least according to Google Maps. I don't know if it's the Maps app that's not reliable or the transport, but sometimes you're just hanging around for buses, just waiting, not knowing when they're going to come. Sometimes they don't even turn up on time, sometimes they skip a few scheduled stops, but so far transport has been really cheap. I think it cost me about €5 to get in to the city centre on one of the public buses from the airport, which was really good. They also have an option of trams, buses, taxis. Taxi drivers, just like anywhere, quite abrupt. Once you do get one though, they're quite alright. Most of them, if not almost all of them, go by the meter, so you're generally pretty fine. Not having a Serbian number means that I can't use the local equivalent to Uber, called Cargo, a Serbian startup, and which means that I'm relying on taxis, and sometimes calling taxis or finding a rank could be a challenge. Walking around the streets in Belgrade, I don't think I've ever felt safer in another European city. The safety over here is unmatched, and I can walk around with my phone out. I don't have to worry about my wallet, my AirPods, my Apple Watch or anything. It is so safe. See, unlike a lot of Western European countries and cities, I don't have to worry about pickpocketing. I don't have to worry about scams and stuff. The only other two places I felt this safe in Europe, or Eastern Europe, was probably Minsk, Belarus, and the Ukraine. Even though people are quite friendly and quite helpful, I find it a little bit transactional. It's been a bit of a challenge to try to make small talk or joke around with people. And from what I understand from talking to a few people, it seems to be maybe a tourist thing. Serbians like to chat among themselves and every restaurant and bar you go to, there's always people talking, laughing about and talking about stuff, I guess. I don't understand Serbian, but yeah, it has been one of the nuances or the notable challenges I've experienced since being here. Again, very friendly, very helpful, but it feels transactional, and beyond that, a little bit difficult to crack a few jokes here and there. Food over here is really good, really healthy. I think the average meal set me back about €5 or €6. Quite decent sized portions as well. I think the average beer, if anything, at a bar within the city is about €2.50, so not bad priced. A lot of Asian restaurants, takeaways, and a lot of modern burger joints popping up all over the place, quite hipster if anything. But I'm a fan of a good burger, so I've just been smashing those a lot, as well as a lot of Asian food. I've had my chibapis as well. I love a good fermented sausage to eat, food-wise, and that's been pretty good. That's probably been the cheapest meal, and I think it cost me about 400 dinar, which is about €4, just around that. That's quite a big portion. So I'm looking for some drinking yogurt. Oh, there we go. 99 dinars. Always got to check the chip aisle. So those have been my favorite snack so far. They're pretty much chocolate on the outside and like a Cheetos corny consistency on the inside without the cheese flavor. I love a good chip, so I'm always keen to check out local chip choice. Australia has quite an average chip choice, to be honest, but so I've basically got all of this: a drinking yogurt, a packet of chips, and some caffeine water, basically for just under €3. Also, people are so fashionable here. Everyone dresses up. I feel so underdressed everywhere I go, and a t-shirt and shorts, basically. It's bloody hot. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. I like the cobblestone streets. They look pretty, but they'd be terrible for car suspension and high heels. So Nikola Tesla, the famous inventor and pioneer of AC, electricity and motors, was actually from this region in Serbia, or wider country Serbia. And they have a museum dedicated to him, and in that museum they currently not only just have his ashes in an urn from his body, but they also have some of his old experiments, a lot of patents, a lot of demonstrations on his electricity-based machines, as well as the motors that he invented and pioneered. They also named the international airport after him, the Nikola Tesla International Airport. Also, I'm not sure what the fascination is, but this seems to be a new thing from talking to people over the last few years. There's slots and poker slots, gambling places, basically everywhere you go in every corner. People in Belgrade are always walking dogs everywhere you go. It seems like there's a lot of apartments in the old city, at least in Stari Grad, and throughout the day, no matter where you walk, guaranteed you're going to find someone walking a dog around. And the dogs are really friendly, really cute. I love the dogs more than people in general, not just in Belgrade, just anyway. During the Kosovo War of 1999, NATO decided to take action against Yugoslavia and bomb the city of Belgrade. And right now in front of me you can still see the ruins of 2 bombings to the Ministry of Defense building. It's a common thing in Belgrade to have boats dotted along the river, a lot of houseboats and bars and nightclubs. So wherever you go along the river, down in the main section, guaranteed you're in for a good time at a nightclub on the water, and I'm a fan. Alright, that's it for now. See you in the next place, and see you in Tbilisi, Georgia.